There's been some debate lately surrounding the Dream SMP and who the main character of the SMP is. On one side, TommyInnit, the insane child who's been there from the start and is also responsible for almost half the wars on the SMP. And on the other side, Ranboo, the typical anime protagonist, with his memory loss, superpowers and dark connection to the main villain. And some argue Technoblade is the main character, constantly being betrayed by his friends and having to fight alone for his beliefs. So in this video I'll be looking at each character and once and for all decide who the main character of the Dream SMP is. But before we begin, let me know your opinion on who the main character is in the comment section below. And please subscribe, it would mean the world to me. Anyway, on with the video. To start with, let's talk about the one who started it all, TommyInnit. Now TommyInnit has been extremely important to the server for the longest time. He's started countries, become friends and enemies with almost everyone on the server, and his crazy antics have started almost every single war. So as you can see, the server is constantly revolved around Tommy. I haven't even mentioned the Dream effect. I'm going to be mentioning him a few times in this video, but it's worth noting that despite being called the Dream SMP, the villain of the server itself is in fact Dream, and he has to link to our main characters in some form or another, which for Tommy is easy to do. Dream and Tommy are enemies, constantly battling over the discs as well as one-upping each other at every opportunity. So how could Tommy not be the main character? Well, it's worth mentioning that in the last month or so, Tommy has not been active on the server. He's been focusing on YouTube as well as working on his hotel with Sam Nook. Was this just an excuse to mention Sam Nook? Yes it was. So instead, let's look at Ranboo. Now Ranboo's only recently joined the SMP. However, as Technoblade mentioned, he seemingly has all the traits of an anime protagonist. Tragic memory loss, superpowers that are beyond the understanding of anyone on the server, as well as a weird connection to Dream. He's also very friendly with everyone on the server, despite having betrayed some people in the past. And also he has a different perspective than anyone else, which makes him a super interesting character. Despite all this evidence, he is new to the server and his storyline is yet to be fully expanded upon. And we also have very little information about his past, as well as his connection to the SMP as a whole. For our third main character we have Technoblade. He's been constantly betrayed and pretty much always battles for himself and what he believes in, despite many being against him, an attribute that a lot of main characters have. He's also the best fighter on the SMP and puts in the most effort. He is constantly trying to better himself and achieve what he believes is right. So what's against Technoblade? Well, for one, he doesn't really have a connection to the main villain. In fact, if anything, they're allies. As well as this, his plot sort of doesn't follow the main story, it's his plot. And he doesn't even show up in the season 2 finale, which proves that, plot-wise, maybe he's not that important. So, who's the main character? Well, not to be a cop-out or anything, but all of them. The server can be watched from any perspective, and depending on who you're watching, they have different stories and different motivations. For example, Technoblade is kind of a minor villain in Tommy's perspective, and vice versa. Wilbur could be considered the main character for his story about L'Manberg and its creation and eventual destruction, as well as his character development, which is the strongest out of anyone on the SMP. And none of the people that I've mentioned so far have a huge link to the current storyline of the mysterious egg spreading across the SMP. This is instead the Badlands main plotline, and each of them could be considered a main character. Bad Boy Halo, Awesome Dude, Puffy. Even Jack Manifold is a protagonist in his own story. In fact, there's not many people on the SMP that aren't main characters. Funnily enough, most of them are original members, such as George, who seems to miss every single major event on the server. So there you really have it. No more arguments, no more Twitter spouts. I've decisively decided the main character of the Dream SMP, and that's everyone. And by that I mean Tommy. Tommy's definitely the main character. I mean, he's literally got plot armor. The plot revolves around him. How is this even an argument? Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me who you think the main character of the SMP is in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, please consider liking and subscribing. As mentioned before, it means a lot to me, so if you could, that would be amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching and peace.